We are fresh off Labor Day weekend, and Donald Trump, of course, spent the day avoiding workers as much as possible. I mean, I guess somebody probably brought him a slice of chocolate cake and a Diet Coke to his room, but other than that, he didn't interact with workers. He pretty much just posted all day long, but he did want to at least pretend that Labor Day was a thing he cared about. And so he posted this: "Happy Labor Day to all of our American workers who represent the capital S shining example of hard work and ingenuity." Okay, when a billionaire posts in all caps, shining example of hard work and ingenuity, does anyone else get super strong 1984 vibes? Like, this is the department of shining example of hard work and ingenuity. I don't capitalize, or go back to what you normally do and capitalize all the letters. Because when you capitalize just the first, it seems like some sort of deeply regressive policy is being proposed, and I don't like it. But he continues, "Under Comrade Kamala Harris," yes, I'm still trying to make that happen, "all Americans are suffering during this capital H holiday weekend. High gas prices, transportation costs are up, and grocery prices are through the roof. We can't keep living under this weak and failed leadership." Okay, so I don't think he gives a damn about workers, and I'm gonna demonstrate that. But I do think it's fair for him to focus on the things that are making life hard for workers. And look, gas prices are nowhere near what they were like 2 years ago. Grocery prices are not rising the way they were a year or two ago, but it is still fair to say that they're high. And so what are they both gonna do about it? What will their approach be? I mean, Donald Trump has a bold plan to put like 20% tariffs on everything you buy, which will massively drive up the cost of things. And I don't see how that will help, but that's what he's got so far. But we really shouldn't be surprised by the fact that he is not actually that well tuned into or care that much about the interest of workers, because it wasn't that long ago that this happened. You remember this?
I mean, I look at what you do. You walk in and you just say, "You want to quit?" They go on strike. I won't mention the name of the company, but they go on strike and you say, "That's okay, you're all gone. You're all gone." So every one of you is gone, and you are the greatest. You would be very good. Oh, you would love it. Oh, you would love it.
Oh, just, two guys that love workers. They love shining examples of hard work and ingenuity. It's just two billionaires, one being one of the richest men in the world, laughing about how awesome it is when like these petty, pesky peasant workers try to like get together and put pressure on the important people so they can, like live and make enough money to deal with the fact that prices are high. We just go in and we just get rid of them. You fire them all. Oh, I love the way you do that. You're so efficient, Elon Musk. You just come in and you throw them right into traffic. Screw them. They think they have value. I'll show them their value as they're being run over by a Model X.
A storm is tearing up the digital media industry. Only our audience can save us in these difficult times. Help us reach our goal of 100,000 new members at tyt.com/team.
That was cool. That was fun. By the way, he's being investigated. He and Elon Musk are being investigated for that, because you're not actually supposed to like joke about strike back against striking workers. That's like not actually a cool thing. You'll notice it's a union, by the way, that's filing this complaint because they actually care about the workers. These guys cosplay it for some reason. And by the way, it's not like this is new. I have been trying to get people to, I think, be freaked out to an appropriate level about the fact that Donald Trump, who pretended when he was initially running for president back in 2015, that he was like more progressive or something than the other Republicans, he repeatedly, I will remind you, talked on the debate stage about the fact that wages are too high. When he was asked about it, he doubled down. Wages are too high. He spent years stressing that wages are too high. And we live in a country where millions of conservative work, like actual working conservatives that do real jobs, listen to this guy say that wages are too high, and they're like, that guy speaks for me. He tells it like it is. I do think that I'm being paid too much. I should make less in the future than I do now. Isn't right-wing populism awesome? But anyway, just a little fun reminder for Labor Day. Now, on the other side, Harrison Walls, who are not sitting, in a jacuzzi at Mar-a-Lago eating cake and tweeting or whatever. They're out there actually like talking to workers. They have been campaigning. They put out a statement saying that Trump doesn't respect working people, if anybody needs to be reminded of that. and he's anti-worker. And the DNC, by the way, has put up a number of these digital billboards on Labor Day across the country, basically using the scab language that Shawn Fain, in the big T-shirt, the DNC had been spreading. And I think it's a great point. By the way, I hadn't known this. I learned something today. I know that in general, he despises workers, him and Elon Musk more than Trump, honestly. Like if he could replace every single person with AI, he would. So I know that like thematically, ideologically, they were scabs. I didn't know that Trump was a literal scab, but I was reminded of it. IATSE, the union, put out this tweet saying President Fain is correct. Trump crossed an IATSE pickup line during the filming of The Apprentice in 2004. And you can actually see the picture there. He walks past the striking workers and won't even look them in the eye, which is just incredible. He had like this brief opportunity where he could like pretend to be like for the working person. But again, think about like the full theme of that. He's walking past people who are just struggling to be paid what they think they're worth, have some dignity in their job, be treated with respect and decency, so that he could go into a building, go up to a crappy office that they pretend looks good on TV, and fire workers. That's who he is. If you're a conservative, like working class or middle class person, how do you not get who he is and what his relationship to people like you are? I will never understand it. I just won't. But Donald Trump isn't the only Republican having some issues on Labor Day. Republican Governor Bill Lee of Tennessee put out this tweet saying, "Happy Labor Day, Tennessee. Many thanks to the hardworking men and women across our state who keep our communities and economy thriving. I guess the wife and I wish all Tennesseans a safe and blessed Labor Day," with a little image. And isn't it fun as a politician to get to like briefly like pretend to be on, like they do this with Labor Day and they do this with the vets and they do this with like Martin Luther King Jr. Day. That's the biggest one where they're like, everything about me isn't diametrically opposed to the thing I'm tweeting. But now it is social media and you can respond to these things. And so they can point out how vapid and shallow these statements are. Representative Justin Jones, one of the Tennessee Three, very helpfully responded with this saying, "Bro, sit this one out. Bill Lee was one of the governors of 6 southern states who warned workers against joining the UAW union, which by the way, has had a great deal of success. Not necessarily a bad thing to have been a part of that union during that time. But again, if they're trying to get workers at the last minute to support them during a big election, then they'll put out the meme or whatever, the image. But when it comes to actually standing with them, actually like when the chips are down, who should reap the rewards of the work that's being done? The people who did the work or the people who owned the building where the work is being done? 100 times out of 100, they're gonna choose the owner. That's it. And by the way, while they're posturing, like theoretically, these politicians, if they wanted to, there are strikes. You could go right now. Like hotel workers are striking all over the place. And in fact, over Labor Day weekend, those strikes have actually become bigger. So about 10,000 hotel workers walked off the job. So those continue to grow, including the employees of the Hilton Baltimore Inner Harbor. And so now you've got 24 other hotels as well. Baltimore, Boston, Greenwich, Honolulu, Kauai, San Francisco, San Diego, San Jose, Seattle. It's all over the place. You could go if you're a politician. Like I know doing a tweet is easier, but like you could go and show solidarity with them, but you're not gonna do that. I think we all understand that at this point. But I want to end this segment with a statement from Gwen Mills, the president of the union representing the striking workers, saying, "During COVID, everyone suffered, but now the hotel industry is making record profits while workers and guests are left behind. Too many hotels still haven't restored standard services that guests deserve, like automatic daily housekeeping and room service. Workers aren't making enough to support their families. Many can no longer afford to live in the cities that they welcome guests to, and painful workloads are breaking their bodies. We won't accept a new normal where hotel companies profit by cutting their offerings to guests and abandoning their commitments to workers." And what Gwen Mills is demonstrating right there is what we've seen in basically every area of our economy. There was a very difficult shutdown and supply chain disruption because of COVID. We dwelled in that for a couple of years. And then coming out of that, many industries, both those who make profits and those in the service industry, try to come up with ways that they could have all the good sides of that, the increased prices. I mean, we had to raise prices. Things are so difficult, but now there aren't the supply chain issues, and yet the prices are so high. And if you had to raise the prices because the things you were buying cost so much, why did your profits go up during that? Well, that's what they're going to continue to push for because that's what they want. But we have unions specifically to represent the actual, like the real stakeholders, not the shareholders, those who are those who are actually making a hotel a place you could go to and live in and want to be at. And so hopefully some politicians will actually show some support, and hopefully coming out of November, we can have some legislation that will actually help workers out. Because as of right now, we've got tweets. And that's about it. And I think America's workers deserve more. Members make a difference here at TYT. You help make the show happen, and we see you in the chat with your loyalty badge. Click the join button to become a member today.